Germanwings airliner 4U9525 has crashed in the French Alps. I want to clear up some conspiracy theories straight away, and I'll see you guys in the video. No music in the video because obviously it's quite a serious matter, but I've never done one of these commentaries before, and this happened today, this horrific event. And I'll start off the video by saying that my thoughts, and I'm not religious, but I guess my prayers, go out to anyone affected by this horrific disaster, and let's just hope that we can find out the cause and that this will never happen again. But I want to get rid of some conspiracy theories straight away. Now, I know that I'm not a flight expert or whatever, but, you know, I've watched all of the programs on TV. If you guys in the UK know a program called Air Crash Investigation, if you have Sky, you'll probably have National Geographic Channel, and I see those, and I've seen every single episode once or twice at least. So I know everything, like, I don't know everything, I know the basics, like what a black box is and that sort of thing. But I've gone through all of these, and this one, I've got my thoughts about what's happened. So let me clear up some things straight away, and let me give you guys the basic info. We know that the airliner was Germanwings, and that it's a sub-branch, or it's a German budget airline that is owned by Lufthansa, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Obviously, obviously a very well-known German airline, and this is the budget airline. So this plane was an Airbus A320, or A320 series that was actually pretty old. It was 24 years old. It was built or handed over to Germanwings in 1991. So no, it's not the oldest plane out there. Many people have been saying it's the oldest plane in the world. No, it's not, but it is one of the oldest, and I reckon there would have only been about 1 or 2 more years maximum left in this plane. Now, it had its routine C-check, which is basically where they strip down the plane of everything. They check to see if there's anything wrong with the plane. That was last done in summer of 2013. Now, it doesn't have to be done that often, but that was last done then. The last normal check for the plane happened yesterday on the 23rd of March. That's just to check, you know, tire pressure, hydraulic levels. They're for the flaps of the plane to help it climb, to help it slow down. I'm sure you guys know what they're for, but that's just a bit of the background. So, this airliner was called Germanwings, and the flight number was 4U and then 9525, and it crashed in the French Alps today at about 9:45, I believe, UK time. And it went down between Digne and Barcelonnette, so I hope I pronounced that correctly. And there were 144 passengers and 6 crew members on board, so 150 people in total, and none of them have expected or are expected to have survived, which is quite disturbing. It is quite chilling as well. What else is there? The plane crashed after an 8-minute descent. That must be horrific for any members on board, anyone on board the plane. Now, I'm going to get into why I think it crashed in a minute, but I'm going to have some graphs and some images on screen right about now for you guys, or throughout the video, sorry, showing you guys showing you guys the facts, and they'll be laid out in front of you. But obviously, the German Chancellor Angela Merkel's told reporters that she's planning on traveling to the crash site, do her prayers, salute the dead, that sort of thing. It's a sad time. Rescuers are trying to get there, or they've got there at the moment. There are some pictures of the crash site. I'm not going to put that on the video because it is quite disturbing. I've managed to find some pictures that are legitimate that the news websites haven't found, because they are, they're pretty disturbing. You guys can imagine wreckage everywhere. And that sort of thing as well. There's also a video online that shows the Flight Radar 24, the route of the plane, and it was following its normal flight path. Many people have been saying, "Oh no, why did it go way out to the right?" There was a line going, directly straight. That would be the route it would take as the crow flies, but obviously there are mountains, they're called the Pyrenees, between Barcelona and France, and it's not possible for a plane to take off and then actually go over the mountains. That's why it has to go out to the right over the Mediterranean Sea, and then over France. Then it's pretty much a direct flight to Dusseldorf. I didn't pronounce that correctly, but there you go. So there are some. So rescue helicopters are currently trying to reach the crash site, and it is in a really remote place. But that's the background. Now let me go on to why I think that, or what I know didn't cause it. The first thing for air disasters is that everyone wonders, was it a terrorist attack, was it a bomb? No, it was not a bomb because the plane did not come down, you know, in massive pieces. There was an alleged eyewitness there who said that he saw the plane coming down. There was no smoke, no fire, nothing coming down from the plane, coming out of the plane. But this was what he said. Again, this is almost like leaked Black Ops 3 information, except obviously I'm not going to compare it to a game. But he said this can't be confirmed, but he believed that he saw the plane coming down, no smoke, no fire coming out of it, coming down at quite a steep angle, and then he saw obviously the pilots trying to lift the plane up, and then unfortunately it hit the mountain. So they lost contact with the plane. Air traffic control lost contact with the plane when it was about at 6,400 feet, and that's the height of the mountain. So we do know that that is how it crashed. It wasn't coming down before that. It crashed when it hit the mountains. It wasn't coming down in multiple pieces. There was no terrorist attack. The next thing, was there a mid-air hijack? Very unlikely, because obviously with the recent apparent events with the Malaysia Airlines flight, where so recently, about a year old now, you know, the security's never been better ever. That you can't go into the cockpit in a flight. You can't bring weapons on board. That's a big no-no. Terrorist attacks or hijacks are they're not common now. Come on, they can't happen. It's similar to the AirAsia flight as well. It wasn't a hijack, so it can't be that. Now, I'll put an image of a graph coming on screen right about now for you guys that shows the descent that the plane did. Now, it wasn't a rapid, it was an 8-minute descent from 38,000 feet. So it wasn't the most rapid descent you could get. The plane didn't go anywhere near the sound barrier. It was still 200 odd miles an hour off the sound barrier, I believe. So it wasn't, you know, a rapid descent. It was going directly vertical down, as you'd sort of imagine a plane crash to be like. It wasn't like that at all. Now, what that suggests is that there was probably, this is what I think happened. So it's 38,000 feet. This is what I believe has happened. This is probably the most credible thing that you guys will hear today, because nobody's really talked about what they think's happened. It's all about the rescue efforts, and understandably so. You know, that's the most important thing at the moment, trying to find out what happened using the evidence to support. But there are loads of theories and conspiracies out there saying, oh no, it was a terrorist attack. So the plane and stuff like that, other things like that isn't true. So the plane was at 38,000 feet, crashed at about 6,000 feet. It had an 8-minute descent. That means it wasn't going down very, very quickly at all. It was going down quickly because it was obviously a plane, but it wasn't going down too quickly. Now, that means that there could have been some sort of pressurization issue at the height, at 38,000 feet. And if there's a pressurization issue, the plane has to get down to about 10,000 feet so that everyone can, you know, still breathe, can still be conscious, and so on. So it's quite clear that the pilots, I believe, tried to put the plane down as quickly as possible to 10,000 feet. But they probably went down below, past 10,000 feet, and unfortunately probably leveled out a bit too late and then hit the mountain. So you're probably saying, but they couldn't see anything. The weather was obviously bad. It was the Alps. The weather was apparently very, very good. It was pretty clear. There were no heavy clouds. There were definitely no storms or thunderstorms or anything in the way. It was very clear. So I think it was a bit of pilot error, and there was obviously something that went wrong up there at that altitude. The only thing that could really happen at that altitude would be a pressurization issue. There wasn't any running out of fuel. It wasn't anything like that whatsoever. Everything was normal on the flight up until that point. So there was some sort of pressurization issue. This is what I believe. This is probably the most credible thing that could have happened. And the pilots tried to get down to about 10,000 feet, which is the safe altitude for people to breathe at and for people to survive at. They probably went down a bit too low and then unfortunately hit the mountains. But guys, let me know down below what your thoughts are on this crash, how you think it happened. I will do different videos. I want to do different videos. I think it's really good for my channel as well. But guys, let me know down below what you think happened with the plane crash, and I'll see you guys over on the next video.